This is Richard Miller from Never Not Here. Today our special guest is Ameer Kat. Welcome, Ameer. You have some videos on YouTube and post up on Facebook. What is your main teaching?
Limited to the experience of the mind, you may be thinking all kinds of things about yourself, but one is just the recycled knowledge and information one has borrowed from the outside world. A ghost even to himself, not a trace of the real man is to be found anywhere.
All right, so you teach about ghosts, yeah, and one time I was at Adiyashani's and I was his old house, and I think maybe there were ghosts there or something.
Beyond speaking while remaining silent, the authentic burns as a flame in the ocean, with a great storm of action harnessing with oneself, yet the witness remains untouched. Endless seasons coming and going, yet the master remains in communion with the reality of neither coming nor going.
Gangaji has a house on the ocean. There are lots of storms there, but I never saw a flame, which would be pretty cool. I wonder what happens in a storm to the fish. Do they hide under rocks and stuff, or they have little shelters under the sand?
In deluded fascination, the sleeper chants the mantra of just this, and yet without an effort to come to direct insight into things as they are, even eternities of blind chanting will not settle the cause of one's suffering. Disturbed, uncomfortable, sitting in a field of thorns, the seeker enters into the search for truth with an open hand willing to receive the arrows from all directions.
Sitting in a field of thorns doesn't sound too comfortable, like one of those swamis sitting on a bed of nails, which reminds me about me and Muji talking about consciousness and awareness and stuff like that.
From the innermost depths to the highest peak, it pervades every rung of the ladder. Nothing sacred, nothing profane. Good and evil are crushed to pieces, supported for both the weeds and the flowers, jewels and the dung, the sage and the fool, without any consideration for the hunger in your belly. Not a trace of favoritism is to be found here.
One time, Jack O'Keefe was on here, and she's kind of cute, with that sexy Irish accent. I better watch out. My wife might be listening. She might kill me or something.
If one has remained identified with one's body or mind, it means nothing less than death itself. All of one's beliefs, assumptions, and conclusions, which one has been hanging on to until the desire for self-preservation, which become irrelevant, reduced to ashes in entering the bottomless abyss. There is not even a single hook or net for the mind to grasp onto.
All right, so you talk about no mind sometimes in your videos. Could you explain what you mean by that?
In the spirit of no mind, the master disintegrates into the unborn season of liberation. Seeking no mind, beyond mind, the stream continues galloping outwardly like a wild horse, craving an existence beyond itself.
Gangaji has some horses at her ranch, and we were watching the horses one day galloping, and we were talking about awareness and consciousness, and Adiyashani came by, and we were talking about stuff. So we were saying earlier about no mind and ghosts and stuff, and I wonder, do ghosts have mind? Because, they don't have bodies, and so they couldn't have brains or anything. Sometimes I'm thinking about stuff like this, and then, I think about me and Scott Killaby talking about awareness, and he's gay, I think he may be judging me out.
A sword of understanding is sharpened by an opposing force against it. A spark of insight arises out of the rubbing of two stones. For those who interpret integration with the way and the sit and do nothing, even eternities of idle vegetation would not be of any help. And yet the Buddha, idleness is his very business.
Idle vegetation, yeah, that reminds me, I need to go and work in the garden because my wife will be getting on me if I don't trim the azaleas, you know. So thanks a lot, Amir, and hopefully you can come back sometime and we can kind of continue our conversation about ghosts and flames in the ocean.